Spoke about SIP, that's the only investment that I do in my life. So I'm one of those 30,000 crore contributors to the Indian economy. And risk is also, I understood, I read somewhere yesterday, that risk is what you don't see. So if you could see what is a risk, then that is not a risk. But you couldn't see something, so we probably could not see the US and the Iran war coming. And what I love about a lot of experts is, and this is purely on the lighter side, what I love about all the experts is, including me, I am also called a leadership expert sometimes, is that we all come to know about all the events very well after they have happened. And we are able to provide some wonderful insights about it. एक शेर सुनाना चाहता हूँ, हिंदी ओके? Everybody, एक शेर सुनाना चाहता हूँ in connection with the complexity that's happening in the world. And also in the context of the war situation that we find ourselves in. Bashir Badar Sahab ka ek sher hai, and it is so beautiful. It will also set the tone for this quick session. It says that लोग टूट जाते हैं एक घर बनाने में, लोग टूट जाते हैं एक घर बनाने में, तुम तरस नहीं खाते बस्तियां जलाने में. लोग टूट जाते हैं एक घर बनाने में, तुम तरस नहीं खाते बस्तियां जलाने में. हर धड़कते पत्थर को लोग दिल समझते हैं, हर धड़कते पत्थर को लोग दिल समझते हैं. उम्रें बीत जाती है दिल को दिल बनाने में. And what I found absolutely amazing about the whole discussion since morning, and I rushed in before 10 because I wanted to be there for every minute of this beautiful summit, is that we are all the time discussing only fundamentals. I go to any of the summits, any of the seminars, we only talk about fundamentals because human beings forget fundamentals more easily than anything else. We are actually very good at leading complicated lives. We find it very difficult to lead a simple life. And it's all about reiterating the fundamentals. So let's quickly get into some thoughts here. This is not working. Thank you so much. Let's quickly get into understanding why fundamentals matter, because knowing is nothing and doing is everything. So we know a lot about what AI can do for us, what EI can do for us, what we can do about our own health, what we can do about people development, so on and so forth. But the question is, do we take action around it? I'm an author of multiple books by the grace of God, and I meet a lot of people who come and tell me, even I want to write. So I tell them, so what should I do? I said, just write. There is no other answer to that. If you want to write, you write. If you want to propose to somebody, go and propose. That's all you can do, and await the consequences after that, of course. But the important thing is that you've got to take action. So the most important slide that I'm going to present is the last one. So please wait with bated breath for that. So let's quickly understand what is emotional intelligence. It's very simple. It's in our context, especially in our work context, in our corporate context, it's all about self-awareness, and it's about awareness about the environment. Now, we couldn't predict the US-Iran war. A lot of people, us could not predict the US-Iran war, but then we are affected by that situation. So the important thing is to be aware about how I am getting affected by it individually, and as an organization, as a department, as a nation, and as a world. So it's all about developing a certain level of what we call as self-awareness. Emotional intelligence is a very intelligently coined word, but you know, in our ancient Indian tradition, emotional intelligence was defined long back in the form of the 9 emotions of the Navrasa, which is depicted in our traditional Indian dance form, which talks about Shringar Ras, which talks about Hasya Ras, which talks about various other kinds of emotions, which are fear, guilt, or how many of us are walking out of the workplaces with grief when somebody has lost his or her job. So all kinds of things are happening around the world today, and it is all about our ability, emotional awareness, I take it to the next level and I say it's about being effective emotionally. It's about emotional effectiveness. It's not just about awareness. Effectiveness comes from my ability to handle the uncertainty with which I am living in today's world. And it's completely uncertain. So we have heard about the VUCA world. Anybody? What is the VUCA world? So volatile, uncertain, complex and ambiguous. It's only getting more and more intense with every single day. Every single day we are experiencing VUCA in our family. We are experiencing, how many of you got Gen Z kids? Then you are living VUCA earthquake every day in your house. Because they are redefining the world and nobody else can. And I'm saying this in a very positive way, that they're actually pushing the boundaries for us and trying to make us better than who we are. So it's all about striking the right balance in life. And I find that in today's world, we are either over pessimistic or we are over optimistic. And both are bad for your health. And I love what George Bernard Shaw said, both the optimists and the pessimists contribute to society. The optimist invents the aeroplane and the pessimist the parachute. So there was one mad guy who asked, what happens if you went up in the air and the engine stopped? And all the positive people around him tried to shut him down. But somebody listened and said, he's right. What happens if I go there and my engine shuts off? I need to still come down. That was the birth of the parachute. So there is a great leadership lesson here, and which is what Gen Z does to us. They always ask us uncomfortable questions. And this is what a lot of wonderful people in organizations do. When everybody agrees to the boss that this can be done and will be done. You remember all typical sales meetings, closest to the swimming pool, or all great business discussions, closest to the swimming pool which you cannot use because the swimming pool shuts at 6 p.m. and the meetings go on till 9 o'clock. And everybody agrees just to end that meeting that boss, you are right, we'll get it done. There's always the one mad guy at the back who says, it can't be done. And that poor guy is pushed into the pool. He is the only one swimming there. So let's listen to differences of opinion, which is extremely critical in today's world. And I'm sure somebody in the United States did not hear about this, and we know where we are right now. So this is called as the clap approach. I'm quickly going to give you a small model. I made you clap in the beginning. One as an energizer, thank you for that. And also somewhere to correlate with this session. So what does the clap approach mean in terms of becoming more emotionally aware, emotionally intelligent, becoming more emotionally effective? So C stands for control the controllable. Ever than before, this has become extremely critical for us in our life. Do I know what I can control in my life? And do I know how to manage the things I cannot control in my life? And amazing thing about this is when we do a self-reflection, we come to realize there are actually so many things in my life which I can control, but which I do not control. For example, I don't have to go for a morning walk only starting Monday. I can do Friday, I can do Saturday, I can do Sunday, I can do Tuesday, but everybody chooses to do Monday. Monday comes, but our friend never gets up at 6 o'clock in the morning. And you don't need to do New Year resolutions on the New Year. You can do it every day. Or you can do monthly resolutions also. So we can take care of our health, we can build relationships, we can work around challenges, we can become mentally and emotionally stronger, we can work on our physical aspects in terms of our health, we can communicate better. There are so many things we can control. We can read more. I have written 11 books, you can read at least one. So, you know, and there are so many amazing books that are available in the market. We can read, we can talk, we can share. There are so many things we can control. So when you go home today, I request you to reflect upon the CTC formula, which is not cost to company, which is control the controllable. Second is leverage AI. There's so much talk about artificial intelligence today. We need to start applying some human intelligence to artificial intelligence and say that how I can leverage AI. Fortunately, in my organization, which is a training and development organization established in 2009, we came up with a very interesting energy assessment. It's not a psychometric assessment, It's an energy-based assessment called KEYS, Know Your Energy Wiring System. And the little story behind this is it was born during COVID, and because of the certain intricacy in the product, we could not automate it for a very long time. Now, after 5 years of having done was maybe like something like 700 to 900 kind of assessments for organizations, for individuals, all put together, all made by hand. We manually build those assessments. Finally, we are leveraging artificial intelligence to automate the assessment. And there's a great learning. My partner in this, Dilip Sharma, who's based out of Bangalore, he's a kind of, I call him the CTO of my company. He's basically somebody who researches a lot on technology. And he has, there's a great learning for all of us that he trained AI to automate the assessment for us. So we are almost there. So it's the relationship that you strike with AI. So if you are afraid of AI, then AI is definitely going to overtake us, overpower us. But if you can find a way to strike a relationship and leverage it to our benefit, then it's a wonderful tool which is available in our hands. Then of course, adaptability, it's a cliche today. Right from morning, I don't know how many times we would have heard about this particular word. Adapt, be agile. It's very easy to say that, but it's very difficult to practice. Like Morgan Housel says in The Psychology of Money, life is simple, but it's not easy. So adaptability is simple, but it's not easy, because who likes to be pushed out of their comfort zone? For example, many of us are sitting here in a particular place since morning. Suddenly, if you are asked to just shift your chair, how many of us are going to enjoy that? It's as simple as that, because nobody likes to be pushed out of their comfort zone. Nobody. Even when I am saying it, even I don't like it. But the important thing is, if you want to be successful in life, you always have to learn to do the things which you do not like. You always have to learn to do the things which you do not like. If you only do the things which you like, you are most likely going to end up getting what you don't like. But if you are ready to do the things which you don't like taking care of your health, going for a walk, having some control on your food habits, so on and so forth, then you are going to get what you like, which is good health, good mental peace, good relationships, so on and so forth. So adaptability is a cliched word today, but I think it's going to always remain a very big statement in our life, that we constantly need to remind ourselves, because things are changing so quickly because of technology that we have absolutely no choice but to adapt. And last but not the least, the most important, people connect. So the only way to work around the threat of technology is for people to understand how important it is to be connected with each other. So leadership development is at the core. Today, why the world is in a crisis, it's all because of leadership issues. You see, around the world, there are leadership issues in organizations, in countries, in societies, in communities. So there cannot be a bigger need today than for us to go and become better people, recruit better people, and work with better people, and make people better if we are a manager. So CLAP stands for control the controllable, leverage AI, become more adaptable, and it's all about establishing better relationships